back and good morning, everybody. We're here in Irwindale, California, at the Hot VW's Drag Day. Now, I've never been to this event. I'm looking forward to it because they actually have race Volkswagens. There's a lot of Volkswagens here with gnarly engines, big old 2 liters, 2.5 liter engines, and they're fast. They also have a little swap meet and a show and shine. So let's take a look at some of these cars. Let's take a look at some of these parts, see if we can find anything cool. I'm gonna quickly make my way through the swap meet. The goal today was to look at some cool cars and watch them race, but I'm a sucker for a good swap meet. Plus, I really don't need any parts for my Volkswagen. I got a 1969 Volkswagen bus. Really all I need to do to that thing is redo all the original parts. I gotta do the interior, my tranny's starting to fail, but other than that, it's very complete and still drivable. The VW Type 1 was designed in the 30s in Germany by a man named Ferdinand Porsche. Same man that designed the Porsches that everybody drives around now, designed the Volkswagen Bug. The concept behind the Volkswagen was that it was going to be very reliable, very affordable, and very easy to work on. That's why they called it the people's car when they first introduced it. And guess what? It turned out to be just what they said. Now, they weren't very popular when they first introduced into the United States around the 50s, but in the 70s, when gas prices went through the roof, everybody wanted to get a Volkswagen because they were reliable and got great gas mileage.
You don't want to drive it.
During that time, they sold a ton of Volkswagens. Volkswagen buses, Bugs, and Type 3s. Well, the Type 3 wasn't as popular, but they sold so many of those cars that they were everywhere. Now, the Volkswagens didn't change as much as other automakers did, so over time, they got less and less popular. So we ended up getting them for really, really cheap. They used to give these things away. I remember there'd be a guy down the street from where I used to live. He had a whole bunch of these Volkswagen buses, which are now astronomically expensive. And he was just giving them away. I mean, they were all rotted and rusted, but they were giving them away. Now you can't even get close to one if you don't have $15,000 in your pocket. Same with some of these Volkswagen Bugs, some of the ovals and split ovals. It's amazing how the value of these has gone way up. Now, in saying that the body styles didn't change, they did change minor things here and there that unless you're really into Volkswagens, you're not going to notice the differences. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of these that are over here in the car show area because there are some rare Bugs and rare buses and beautiful ones. I mean, ones that look amazing. So we'll walk through there. I'll show you some of the differences, and then we'll see if we can catch the race. It should be starting soon. So I'm gonna finish off the last few rows of this swap meet. Then I'm gonna make my way over to where all the cars are at. We can take a look at these two Volkswagens and see how the body style really hasn't changed. It's just subtle differences. You see the license plate light? It's got a little like oval thing. The tail lights are really small. The oval window, obviously. This looks like it's a German Bug because it's a right-hand drive. All the ones that were imported to America were left-hand drive, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But this one's obviously been restored and it's beautiful. It's a 56 original ragtop oval window Bug, which is another reason. That's another thing that they changed from year to year was that ragtop. Some were factory, some were actually just regular sunroofs like we have in some of the modern cars. Now this is a later one. This is a 66, I believe. Body style is almost identical. The turn signals are on the fender, where on the other one they were down by the headlight. This is a left-hand drive Bug. So this was obviously one imported to the United States. As we move to the rear, taillights are different. That license light frame is different, but the body's pretty much the same. There's a 10-year difference between these two Bugs, and not a lot has changed unless you look at the little subtle differences like the headlights. Some of the windows were bigger, and I'll show you some of that over there, but they all pretty much stayed the same. Now this right here is a panel van, basically the work truck of the VW fleet. When they made this, they designed it for the working man, so it was like just a hauling van, a work truck, a work van. Now they're popular and they lower them and put interiors in them. But originally when Volkswagen made these, they were designed for work. but I mean, they still had the same basic shapes, the same basic interiors as a regular transporters, which we'll see more of later. Here's another version of that work truck that Volkswagen designed. This is basically a Volkswagen bus. Has the same dimensions, but they just cut it right there, right behind that rear window, and put a truck bed on it. And they were able to use that same design. It's the same dimensions as the Volkswagen bus, the one that has windows, and even that panel van. They're all the same dimensions, but you know, they're just different configurations, which is cool because Volkswagen was able to use the same chassis to do all that. Right here we have some of the earliest models. The split oval window bugs are one of the earliest models that Volkswagen made, or at least some of the oldest ones that Volkswagen has introduced here into the United States. And this is a beautiful one. Totally redone, everything's restored. This is a really early model, probably 53, 50, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. If you know it, please put it in the comments right there. But this one is super nice. You see those rectangular tabs right there, right next to the window? Those are semaphores. So when you put the turn signals on, those actually pop out and flash, which is really cool. It's always a cool feature that I thought was cool with these Volkswagens. These three Volkswagens out here were some of the most beautiful ones out here. The paint jobs were impeccable. Everything seemed to be redone. That's a convertible oval window bug. That's another oval window bug. And they all had like monster motors in them, like 2-liter motors with that green one had a turbo in it. But these are so nice. This is just a good example of how beautiful these cars can get and how valuable. I mean, these are not cheap Volkswagens. So you got those giant carburetors on there, and everything's been redone. The interior, the exterior, it's got those cool Porsche alloy wheels on them. So these are just some beautiful cars. If you're familiar with the Volkswagen scene here in SoCal, you'll recognize these guys, the JFK, the German folks. They have some of the nicest Volkswagens out there, and all types, not just bugs. They have buses, Type 3s, like this green squareback right here. This convertible right here, which if you look closely, you can see that semaphore kind of sticking out. Those are the ones that when you turn the turn signals on, that'll actually pop all the way out and flash. But they have some of the nicest cars. Look at the paint jobs on these. All the interiors are redone. So they don't skimp on anything when they restore these vehicles. And a lot of these cars have huge monster motors. We'll see an example of one across the way over here. But that bus right there is one of the earliest buses. That's a barn door 23 window, the Samba bus. That's a very rare bus right there. But if we go across the way right here, you see that's at least a 2-liter. You see those giant carburetors sticking out of there. That's another split oval window. There's another split oval window. But this one has a turbocharged motor. So I'm sure this thing scoots pretty good. But you can see, man, they did not skimp on any of these restorations. These are beautiful. I'm just gonna walk through the rest of this car show and just show you like all the different flavors. Everybody has their own touch. Everybody has their own flavor as far as how they want their car to look. But you can see all the different styles of restorations. This one's pretty wicked here. It's all custom. This is a later style bug, like a 70 maybe. You can tell that bumper is a lot thicker. See where the fuel door is? That's some of the improvements that Volkswagen made. But same basic shape. That's a nice touch right there. See how they recessed that rear window? And this interior is just, I had to control. It's pretty nice. But see, everybody has their own little touches. As you can see the front of this. See the headlights are a lot smaller. So those are some of the changes that were put into the body styles. That's not necessarily part of the restoration. Here's that rear window again. See how it recessed? Usually there's a rubber that goes on it. So yeah, there's some nice touches to this one. Fully customized. So I made my way to the back of the show this was pit roll. This is where all the race bugs were. So we're gonna quickly walk through all this. There's not much I can see. Obviously, they're prepping for a race, so they don't want me standing around recording them while they're doing that. But I'm gonna take a quick look at this, and then I'm gonna go get my spot because I want to look at this. I want to check this race out.
So, your hot rod's not up here. Come on down. And welcome. Love you guys. It makes the Connecticut world go round. Right on.
Man, there ended up being a super long delay. Somebody dragged oil all the way down the track, and the rain didn't help. They were having some issues with some of the sensors at the end of the track. But then when we finally got going, it was an awesome day of racing. Check it out. I don't know if we got rid of anything. He has so much stuff.
Bam, bam, bam. Go home, go home, go home.
Hey, what happened, you think?
I'm trying to get my record 17
17?
in a day. I'm trying. We got a pool right now.
Yeah, you gonna get us killed.
Now, Anthony, that's a bad bug right there.
It's down.
That shit killing the wheels, hit the second gear.
Hey, and it's all so tuned so good.
Yes.
Tim, don't be surprised if you see me out here going down. So, don't be surprised if you see me out here with a Pro Turbo bug.
Why would you do that?
I like them. Stitches back. I'm sorry, hey, I'm just beat my pocket down.
Do one of those. Break one of those.
Look, I had a hurt injector. You know what that's called?
Oh, Burkhardt, what happened?
What?
What? Jack's so good.
That sucks.
I know, he just broke his hand. Let's see what Anthony did.
That's from Wheel Hop.
Yeah. Excuse me, like, everybody got one.
Well, that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're liking the content, please subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, leave me some comments down there. I had a great time. A lot of cool bugs, a lot of cool racing going on. So thanks for joining me once again, and I'll catch you on the next one.